Coming up on The Echo, students will talk about their experiences at Latin Fest.
Want to know what Loyola students are doing this Halloween? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome back, Loyola, to this edition of The Echo. I'm Steve Solano.
And I'm Caitlin Higgins. On this episode, we'll tell you everything you need to know about what's going on around campus, in Baltimore, and all over the world.
It's all coming up right here on The Echo, Loyola's student-run news program. We begin tonight with a reminder to students, do not forget, October is Latin Heritage Month.
That's right, Steve. Among the many activities and cultural events our school is hosting this month, Latin Fest is one of the most exciting. The second annual Latin Fest has students coming together to experience the sights, sounds, smells, and even flavors of Latino culture, right here on campus. For a first-hand experience of this event, we go to Allison Nuara for more.
Hi, I'm Allison Nuara reporting for The Echo. October is Latino Heritage Month, and tonight we're here at McGuire Hall for Latin Fest, sponsored by the Association of Latin American and Spanish Students and Alana Services. Students are gathered here to experience sounds, sights, smells, and flavors of Latino culture. I talked to some students to find out the opinions of their experiences at Latin Fest. Let's hear what they had to say.
Well, I heard they have a larger number of performances this year than last year, so I've already seen 2 and they were fantastic. It was an awesome Latin dance, and so I'm looking forward to that most, I think, and also the food.
Tonight we have a lot of performances. We have people dancing, as we just saw Paul and Rebecca do. We have people singing, we have people playing the piano, poetry reading, we have some traditional Latin food in the back, and just a lot of fellowship and a lot of educational things to teach about the Latino culture.
Behind me, students are lining up to try some traditional Latin food.
I come every year for the food. My mom is Cuban and Spanish, so she cooks a lot of Spanish food in our house, so it's always really awesome.
Latin Fest has been a great time. This is Allison Nuara, now back to the studio.
Thanks, Allison. Just walking by the festival, I could smell the amazing dishes being served, and the music was blasting.
Then no wonder it was such a great turnout. Another fall tradition took over Loyola's campus last week, and that was the Autumn Moon Festival, which was in celebration of the autumnal equinox. The festival is one of the most important holidays in the Chinese calendar, and it was hosted this year by Loyola's Alas. From martial arts demonstrations to henna tattoos and, of course, lots of great international food, it was yet another successful cultural campus event.
Also on campus this week, students got a little clarity over some rumors of spiritual nature. The theology department hosted a lecture titled, "The Rumors of God's Death Have Been Greatly Exaggerated, Christian Witness and the Love of God." Reporter Molly Coffey has more.
Hey Loyola, Molly Coffey here reporting for The Echo. I'm outside McGuire Hall where Professor Gregory Jones is giving a lecture on John Murray's book, The Problem of God. Gregory Jones, former Loyola professor and current Duke University's Dean of the Divinity School, presented his thoughts on John Murray's book, The Problem of God, which is the common text for all Intro to Theology courses this semester.
What is a merciful heart? A merciful heart is a heart aflame for all of creation, for men, birds, beasts, demons, and every created thing. The very thought or sight of them causes the merciful person's eyes to overflow with tears. The heart of such a person is humbled by the powerful and cannot...
Many theology professors, as well as students, came out to hear Dr. Jones's analysis of the book, specifically focusing on John Murray's idea of an atheist as well as redemption with God. He gave us insights on how many people struggle with a strong faith-based relationship with God. He also provided the audience with a brief video demonstrating these difficulties.
Divinity School. He's the author of The Sacrifice of Africa, a book about Christian leaders in Africa, including Maggie.
Maggie says love has made me an inventor.
Thanks, Molly. In more campus news, author Janet Burway paid our university a visit on Tuesday night as a part of the 2011-2012 Modern Masters Reading Series.
This long-running series has brought poets, novelists, essayists, and nonfiction authors of national and international acclaim to Loyola's campus for many years and continues throughout the academic year. We go to Don Proto for more on the lecture.
Author Janet Burway has made her way inside the 4th floor programming room as this month's keynote speaker for our Modern Masters Reading Series. She's the author of 8 books, novels, essays, plays, text for dance, and children's novels.
I really believed that I had seen enough musicals, and as a teenager had been enough in love with them, and knew enough musical songs that I knew how to write a musical, which is absolutely not the truth. In fact, I think it's absurd that I thought that, because I wrote this whole book writing fiction on how to write fiction, so why did I think that you didn't need to learn how to write?
I really enjoyed hearing your reader works, and I just learned how to be a good writer and how you can characterize people and how you can describe people, you know, in a few pages in their whole life.
It was cool to actually hear it. You could tell that like she was speaking, you know, directly to what she meant from the writing. So, I mean, that was really interesting to hear. I've never heard that before, so it was cool.
Jeanette Burroway definitely captured the audience with the lyrics from her new musical. Reporting from the Echo, I'm Dom Proto. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Dom. We're fortunate at Loyola to have our student writers enriched by scholars like Janet Burroway who have real-world experience.
The next featured speaker in the Modern Masters series will be Timothy Liu, author of Bending the Mind Around the Dream's Blown Fuse, on November 17th. Look around campus for a little more information on the event.
Now, don't go away. After this short break, we'll have the latest in national and sports news. Then stay tuned for our exclusive footage and interview with the talented rapper, Sam Adams.
ATMs can be a great resource when it comes to accessing your money. Here are a few tips that can help make sure your transactions are quick, safe, and easy. Before you approach an ATM, have your ATM card out and ready so that your transaction goes smoothly. Try to avoid using ATM machines that exist in dim light. That way you know all of your surroundings. Lastly, if you see any suspicious activity or feel uncomfortable for any reason, simply leave and find a new location where you feel more comfortable. These few simple tips can help keep you and your money out of danger.
We're back here at the Echo. In Baltimore news, one of the city's most famous and beloved authors' legacies is in trouble. The city has cut off funding for the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum because of budget cuts. Without funding, it might be forced to close its doors to the public. However, Baltimore residents are working hard to save this city's treasure. As Baltimoreans rally together, they are getting attention from national and international organizations.
This month, they will be marking the 162nd anniversary of his death in Baltimore, and fundraisers for his former home are being held in Washington, D.C., Falls Church, Virginia, and Manhattan, New York. Meanwhile, local efforts to raise money for the museum are continuing.
Elsewhere in Baltimore and around the world, the Occupy Wall Street movement is going strong after 1 month of protests. 82 countries have now begun to participate in the movement for change in politics and economics. Many of the participants are growing increasingly frustrated with their job outlooks and hope for their future. It is this uncertainty which leads demonstrators erupting in over 900 countries worldwide. Baltimore has recently joined the movement. The chaos is spreading and strengthening like wildfire as numerous labor unions band together. So far, there seems to be no end in sight for this movement.
Families of U.S. soldiers got an early Christmas present this week. President Obama announced that Friday, the U.S. troops will be out of Iraq by the end of the year, home in time for Christmas. That means after nearly 9 years, America's war in Iraq will be over. This announcement came after the president held a private video conference with the Iraqi Prime Minister to discuss the matter. President Obama said the two were in full agreement about how to move forward. Since the war began, more than 1 million Americans have served in Iraq. There are roughly 39,000 troops still in Iraq.
Speaking of world leaders hoping to better their countries, here on campus we have people who take action in making changes for the betterment of Loyola. Through a new feature called Loyola Spotlight, we here at the Echo will tell stories of these leaders, whether they are students, professors, or administrators.
This week we talked to Elizabeth Piper, a senior at Loyola, who throughout her college career has taken charge in bringing awareness to women's issues. Echo News reporter Brianna Berg has her story.
This is Brianna Berg of the Echo. Today we'll be featuring Loyola's Spotlight. We'll be talking with a leader on Loyola's campus. Here we're with Elizabeth Piper. What are you doing here on campus?
Well, currently I'm co-president of a club called Beauty of Women, which is open to all women on campus, freshmen through seniors, as well as some faculty that have gotten recently involved, which is exciting. And we do all sorts of organizations meetings, such as we meet with Take Back the Night and try to get involved with sexual violence awareness, as well as do our own things. Our first event this year was an event called Dear Me, where we had senior girls write letters to their freshman selves saying things they've learned, things they kind of regret doing, so we could possibly help freshmen coming into Loyola and keep them from doing the same mistakes as these senior girls.
Is there anything besides Beauty of Women on campus that you're involved in?
So I started my business, Color Your Life, last spring, so relatively recently, and in a lot of ways I guess I was inspired by Beauty of Women, just talking about issues with college women. And after going to an all-girls school in Baltimore for 4 years, I was always interested in the issues girls are facing from ages like 14 to 22. And so I thought, you know what, this is actually my passion. I love talking to girls about this, getting them to feel more confident and capable as young women in our world. And so I created Color Your Life. And it actually has been a pretty big success just starting in the past 8-9 months. I went back to my high school, Rowan Park Country School, this summer and talked to the leaders there, and I was expecting to do this pro bono because I had to establish credibility before I was to start an actual company where I got revenue and whatnot. But then they offered to pay me, and so I was very excited about that, thinking maybe this message is powerful enough to really go big with it. So
thank you for coming. This has been Loyola Spotlight. If you're interested in contacting Piper about getting involved in her club, please email her or visit her Facebook page. Or if you know anyone who should be featured on Loyola Spotlight, please contact the Echo. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Brianna. Again, if there's someone on campus you know who you think has made a difference, email graynews@loyola.edu.
It can be anyone, from students to faculty, to be featured in Loyola Spotlight.
Stay tuned, Loyola. After this short break, Lauren Baynew has update on Loyola sports and the Superfan kickoff event for the anticipated basketball season. After the men's soccer team won 2-0 against Canisius on Friday at home, they were only able to tie Niagara 1-1 on Sunday. It was senior day at Ridley Athletic Complex as the Hounds played their last season home game. Junior Kevin Kranz scored for Loyola in the 69th minute, but Niagara was able to tie up the game in the 87th minute. The game continued into 2 overtime periods, but neither team was able to pull out the win. The Hounds will finish their season at Siena and Marist next weekend. Last Thursday, Reitz Arena held late night with the Hounds, where students were able to get a sneak peek at the men's and women's basketball teams. Students were able to play games with the players where one lucky student won an iPad. The Loyola dance and cheerleading teams also performed for the fans in Reitz. It was a great opportunity for students to see what this year's basketball teams can bring to the table. The men open up their season on November 3rd against Indiana at home. The Lady Hounds begin their season at Maryland on November 11th. In NFL news, Tim Tebow was able to miraculously lead the Denver Broncos to an 18-15 win over the Miami Dolphins in his first career start. Tebow threw 2 touchdown passes in the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds of regulation to force the game into overtime. The Broncos were able to finish the game with a 52-yard field goal by Matt Prater. Former teammate at the University of Florida and Miami Dolphins center Mike Pouncey told reporters, "It's tough to say, man, but Timmy did a great job." The Baltimore Ravens played the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football this week. The Ravens and the Jaguars played solid defense while their offenses were lacking. The Ravens were scoreless until 2 minutes left in the game when they scored a touchdown to trail the Jags by 2 points. They opted for the onside kick where Billy Cundiff's kick was inches shy of passing the 10-yard marker. The ball went to the Jaguars where they were able to capitalize on their opportunity and score a 51-yard field goal. The Ravens had a chance for a game-winning drive, but Flacco threw an interception to seal the Jags' win. This has been Lauren Baynew with your sports update. Now stay tuned after this break for our exclusive interview with fall concert performer Sam Adams and what Loyola students' plans are for this Halloween weekend.
How to use a portable fire extinguisher. Remember, pass, pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handle, sweep the nozzle at the base of the fire. If a fire extinguisher is not readily available, use a dry powder consisting of flour or baking soda.
Well, we've been talking about this for the past few episodes. One of the biggest events on the fall semester happened last Saturday night. Sam Adams and the Super Mash Brothers took the stage at Reitz Arena, and there was not an empty seat to be found. I was lucky enough to sit down and chat with Sam Adams after the show Saturday night, and I found out quite a bit you might not know about the rising musician.
You know, you need to push yourself as an artist, and there's no other way better to push yourself than to, you know, make your peers and the people you compete with the best. You know, like I don't really look at people that are coming up or just blowing up as my competitors. I look at the best, and that's where we're going. Yeah, I mean, I have an album coming out probably top of the year, and I'll be working that for my label for probably a year, and I'll be a full-fledged slave for a long time, going to radio and working songs and stuff. So it's cool. It's sort of like a blessing in disguise. Like when you come back to the East Coast, it's different than, you know, like we just did a tour in like March to like the end of May, and it was like everywhere from New York to California, and then sort of like back across the country. And it's cool because you get to go to different places, and the West Coast is still like a big area where you can do a lot of promo and stuff. So there's like a ton of schools that are huge, but you know, the audience isn't as big. The East Coast presence is always the best. We built our career on doing live shows, doing music, you know, music that moves people. I've been to hundreds of hip hop shows where literally the whole time I'm just like,
That's it.
Like, word, I love this song. But it's like, you know, it's like low energy. So we sort of, on the last mixtape, I took all my favorite, you know, songs and beats I heard on the radio, and we just went in over them. And it's crazy live. Like it's so fun.
Everyone is still talking about how great the performance was. Well, the upcoming holiday that has everyone talking on campus is, of course, Halloween. Caitlin, do you have any idea what you're going to do this weekend or what you're going to dress up as?
You know, I've been thinking a lot about it, Steve, and I have some ideas I've been brainstorming, but I don't have anything great yet. I need some more ideas.
Well, we went out to the Quad to see what Loyola students are saying they're going to be for Halloween and perhaps what their favorite Halloween movies are. We go to Philip Reed Francisco for more.
Hey Loyola, this is Philip Reed Francisco reporting for the Echo. Today I'm going to ask students a few questions about Halloween, such as what they'll be dressed up as, their favorite Halloween movie, and their plans for that night. Greg, what are you going to be dressing up for Halloween?
I think I'm going to be a pumpkin.
I'm going to be a cave woman.
And I'm going to be Batman.
A doctor.
I'm going to be a wrestler because I have a WWE Championship title belt.
I'm shooting to be Madeline.
I'm going to dress up as Urkel.
I'm thinking doing Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
There are quite a few Halloween movies out there. Greg, what's your favorite Halloween movie?
Probably the Disney Channel one, Halloween Town.
Halloween Town. I'm Hocus Pocus.
I really don't have one.
Halloween. Halloween.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Is that?
All right, now last but not least, what are your plans for Halloween?
I think I'm going to Fells with all my friends this weekend.
Well, we're going to the Hershey Park in the Dark Options trip. I'm going to Hershey Park in the Dark with options.
I'm a senior, I'm 21, and I'm going to Fells.
Probably go down to Fells.
Head out to Fells Point and see all the costumes down there.
As you can see, Loyola students enjoy Halloween. This has been Philip Reed Francisco reporting for the Echo. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Phil. I hope that sparked a few ideas for at least you, Caitlin.
I mean, it did.
And students, we hope that you have a fun and safe Halloween.
Join in the fun this Halloween by going to the great big Halloween Parade of Light and Luminari. The fun-filled community event takes place on October 29th at 7 p.m. in the Patterson Park in Baltimore. This annual event includes a lantern parade with marching bands, parade floats, and performances that really light up the city.
We end this edition of The Echo with another great way to spend Halloween weekend. It's by stopping by the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore. To kick off the zoo's Halloween bash, Zoo Boo, They have an annual giant pumpkin smash. The pumpkin smash is free with zoo admission. The zoo, boo, also includes trick-or-treating, costume contests, carnival games, face painting, live entertainment, and plenty of delicious food. I mean, that's a lot of stuff right there. So dress up and bring the whole gang down to the zoo for an afternoon of fun-filled festivities.
Loyola students, remember to make smart decisions and stay in groups this weekend, as with all weekends, as you celebrate this Halloween. Well, that's all we have for this edition of The Echo.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to tune in next time right here on Channel 33.
Have a great week, Loyola. I'm Caitlin Higgins.
And I'm Steve Solano. We will see you next time.